play at all. I mean, whether or not you can play at all is up for debate. But, I mean, the fact, no. I don't think BP needs a defensive coordinator. No. Of course he doesn't. And well, plus, why do you think you'd be able to help? I mean, dude, Kentucky sucks. Tony. Tony, don't start. I gotta go. Good luck. Hey, guys. What up? It's JG. I am the publisher / Commodore / live streamer guy. And I'm here to talk to you about the Auburn Tigers in various forms. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Whew, man, I feel tired after that one, and I didn't even watch much. I mean, I watched the game, but what did we see? Not as much as we had hoped, right? The Auburn Tigers losing to the Florida Gators tonight. Down 44-22 at halftime. Played better in the second half. I think they outscored them. You guys can do the math. Maybe I can't. 35-30. Auburn did in the second half. But I think that's more of a function of, Florida knew they were way ahead. And Auburn played better. Played harder, I should say. And Florida didn't play as hard. But, Tonight, A. Robinson asked what I'm drinking tonight. I'm going to drink this High Gold. This is from the Rabbit Hole people in Louisville, Kentucky. Soon, within the next year, they're going to be, let's give it 2. Within 2 years, I think they're going to be offering a lot of stuff that's going to be their own, but this is a sourced bourbon. The rumor is that it's, MGP, as many of them are. But, since Rabbit Hole's from Louisville and I'm from Louisville, you might as well. I need to put some in here, don't I? That's what this has gone. This is what's happened to me tonight. It's been one of those nights. I did not expect Auburn to get beat like that. And when we had heard on the bunker, you guys saw on the bunker where someone had spotted Sharife wearing a boot, which ended up, who gave me a thumbs down? Spotted Sharife with the boot on. Ended up being great intel. When it was revealed that he was definitely going to be out of this game, I was like, because we've seen this team play without Sharife, and it's kind of iffy, right? And then, back then, when they didn't have Sharife, they still had JP, and now it's like, James Taylor Studio sounding a lot like a Bammer. Says, what's the excuse tonight? I don't think JG's been a big excuse maker. This team is undermanned. And I think the people on the bunker that have asked all season long, I love Sharife, but where's the second option? Why doesn't he have another point guard ready to go? I think those are fair questions. They thought it was going to be Turbo, but honestly, they had questions about Turbo going back to last year. So during this recruiting cycle, I think it's fair to say, why didn't BP go get another point guard? But that's a fight we could have had for months now, and we've had for months. So anyway, that's the situation there. Let's get on to our main screen here, which I've updated with the new all the information there on the left. I've gone ahead and squeezed in those last 2 games. There is some chatter that on the 6th, I believe it is, that would be the next weekend, they would play Mississippi State in a makeup game, but I don't know. That game probably is not going to have a lot of bearing on what's going on in the league, so I don't know if the SEC is going to be hustling to make that one up. And we haven't heard anything about it. We've inquired, and it's been kind of I don't know. It's kind of, in this COVID era, there's been a lot of postponements and cancellations. And it's not, for the SEC, it's not just basketball. They're dealing with lots of stuff. I mean, they've got some soccer going on. They got gymnastics going on. They got women's basketball going on. They've got tennis going on. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on, and they're all having to deal with this. So, anywho, I'm trying to think of just how we want to start with this one. I'll tell you how we'll start. Let's give a big shout out to our super chatters who've jumped in already. Pocket Watch jumps in before we even get started because he's an absolute badass. Says just a couple or 3 or more if Seattle time to get your free Kindle book. Remember Henry Harris, the book about Auburn legend Henry Harris. Just go to Amazon. All right. Pocket Watch and I were messaging about this earlier today. And I'm interested to learn a little bit more about it because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about what he's talking about. I mean, I know who he's talking about, but I didn't know a lot of the story there. So thank you, Pocket Watch. I got some new sounds, and I'm just going to randomly play the new sound in honor of your super chat. This has nothing to do with you. I just think it's hilarious. I picked these up. I've been rummaging through the internet, and this is one I picked up.
Yeah, on Monday, I won't make it on Monday because I have so many calls on Monday.
I don't know what he's saying. It's Beetlejuice from the Stern Show. I will make it on Monday, man. Sam H jumps in with a super chat. The guy's an absolute beast as well. He's with us a bunch, and he's just all-around stud. Says, for Reef's ankle therapy, hey now, another soundbite for you.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Yes. I love he does that tongue roll at the end. Dateline NBC. Also, thank you, Sam. Also, super chat from Corey Dubb, with whom I need to be drinking and eating soon, before long. First drink is on me with a super chat, and I've got another one for you, buddy. This is not aimed at you, though, but it's funny.
I want to wrestle you so freaking bad.
I was going through sound bites from Chris Hansen, and I came across that one. I just thought it was too funny, man. So anyway, I appreciate you, Corey. You're the man. All right, so we're talking about what the excuse is tonight, because people are tired of hearing excuses. Pocket Watch is with me on this. I know a lot of you guys are as well. Like, there's no excuse. I mean, they got skull drug by LSU the other night. And although I wouldn't necessarily call this one a skull dragging, they got beat. I mean, they got beat bad. Again, this was 44-22 at half, and I thought Auburn played better in the second half, but they're just not up to that challenge. And Florida was deeper, and Allen is not a point guard, and even Allen couldn't play every minute, even though he's in great shape. They had to play Jamal at point. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you were doing like FIFA ratings for Jamal, it would be like, handle 55 out of 100. Quickness 45 out of 100. I mean, it would just be terrible. And what upsets me is that Pocket Watch had a great question that I wanted to delve into, and I forgot what it was. Dadgummit. Kyle S. says nobody can keep anyone in front of them defensively. That's absolutely true. That's a big part of what's wrong with them on the defensive end. I asked BP about that yesterday or the day before in the Zoom chat, and he was talking about how, because my thought on that is that it's more about just the want to, as Lee Zembo would say. You just got to have that want to. Pocket Watch says BP's talking now on post game. Unfortunately, I'm not able to air that on here due to copyright restrictions, but if you provide us some cliffs on that would be awesome. Asked him about the defense that you brought up, Kyle, and I thought it was just more a function of just the want to, but he was saying that it actually goes a little bit deeper than that. That certainly plays into it, but it has to do with just getting stronger, getting your core stronger, getting your legs stronger, actually being able to shift more quickly. And I think that's something Damon will be working on with them this summer. And I mean, some of these guys need to put on a little bit of weight. JT Thor needs a little bit of weight. I think Dylan needs to, get in a little bit better shape. Not that he's fat and gross. He just needs to be a little quicker. I think Jalen could stand to be a little quicker, even though he's been in the system a little bit longer. I don't know what to tell you about Stretch. There's some chat here in the chat about Stretch. I don't like to use the word expendable. If there's a guy on this roster that I don't think will be here next year, for me, Javon Franklin will be number 1. And I think Stretch will be number 2. But the thing is, not that they dislike Javon Franklin, but I think they really like Stretch. And they really feel like, I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. I'm in that middle row. Okay, I'm going to be fine. If you ask these coaches to go back and diagram how they got to the 2019 Final Four, just kind of from a program perspective, they're going to talk about Horace Spencer. And Horace Spencer was not a primetime player for them traditionally. He was not a big scorer. He was a solid rebounder, solid defender. But what he did was he brought a lot of enthusiasm, and he just didn't give a shit about like hurting himself or whatever. Him and Malik Dunbar, to me, were absolutely critical. And we love talking about Jared, and we love talking about Bryce, and those guys put the ball in the bucket, and without them, Auburn doesn't make it. But without Malik and Horace, I don't think they make it there either. Those two guys fought absolutely tooth and nail all the time, and they think that Stretch can be that kind of player. I don't think Stretch is ever going to be a number 1 guy. But Chip says, talking about player attrition is nothing to sneeze at, JGT. Good stuff, Chipper. By the way, Chipper, I'm going to be doing a rundown show. It's not going to be on a Tuesday. It's going to be on a weekend in Mobile. I'm expecting you to be there, sir. Canoe Man says, who else hit the dislike button? I want answers on this. I should be able to see who does that, Canoe Man, and I would hope that you would be the sergeant at arms and you would just whoop their ass if we knew who it was. Jason Hill says Stretch I think is safe. I mean, I don't look at it as safe or not safe. I just think that they see value in him. And I do too. I mean, again, I don't see him as a starter. I don't project him as a starter. Just the same way that I think on a really good team, Horace is probably not a starter. But he hustles, man. He really, really gives a shit about what he's doing. And I know he's not playing great. I think it's kind of like JT, where he's just still trying to figure out, where do I fit in? What's my role? What can I do best? Where do I need to be? It's kind of odd to me that a guy that's been in the system, 2 years now, year and a half, whatever you want to look at it, who's in good shape, wouldn't have an idea where to position himself as a help side defender. You know, I mean, he's a rim protector. That's kind of what his role is. And it's odd to me how out of position he is when it comes to that job, to that function. But the reason I don't want to give him too much shit about that is there's a lot of dudes making a lot of mistakes on defense. And you hear that whole joke, they love talking about in football, 10 guys can do the right thing and the 11th guy screws up and the whole play goes to hell. I mean, in this team, defensively, there's usually 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 guys who are not doing things right, and that's what's going on. Kyle S. also asks what's going on with Justin Powell. The latest with him is that he is doing better. He has gone to practice. He's not practicing, but he has been there. There was a run there, buddy, a month, maybe 6 weeks, where he was having a hard time just getting his schoolwork done. He had a hard time walking. He was having constant headaches. Some disorientation. I mean, it was bad, dude. Again, it's kind of it was a weird lick, right? He got hit by Stretch's either wrist or maybe elbow. He wasn't really trying to hit him, but Justin was going backwards. Stretch is going forwards, and he hit him right in the back of the skull. And I think that was more than a concussion. But, that's his story, and we'll let him tell it when it's time. Mobile alum 1991 says, so question of the night, your thoughts on Sharife leaving? Great question. So, obviously, point guard is a bone of contention for this team. And we see that Auburn really isn't very good without Sharife out there. I mean, although they did get crushed by LSU with Sharife out there the whole game. Sharife got injured in practice. You saw on ESPN tonight, I was surprised by that. I think they had him as, you guys may remember better, it was like a 10 to 15 player. I think they might have had him as the number 11 player overall, according to some dude whose name I don't know. And I would expect that an NBA draft analyst for ESPN is probably somebody who's been doing it a while and is trustworthy for the most part. My guess is that he's coming back. I just think his shot is bad. I think he needs a lot of work on his three-point shooting. And I think there's other things that he needs to work on. His defense is poor. It's strange to me. He's so fast. He's so quick. And he's a bad defender. He's got the raw athletic ability to be a plus defender, and he's terrible. Mobile alum says, you mentioned that you were coming to Mobile soon. Of course. First of all, my daughter's there every day. Second of all, I love voodoo, and we've talked with Michael and Jenna about doing a show down there, and so I'm essentially committing to it. If you look at that schedule over there, you see March 2nd is the Alabama game. That's a midweek game. If they don't reschedule the Mississippi State game for the 6th, my thought is that we would do the show down there. This would not be on a Tuesday, obviously. It'd be on a Friday, I believe, Friday or Saturday. We're going to do the show down there that weekend, so it'll be like March 5th, 6th in that range. I would definitely give you guys a full heads up before we do it. I'd love to have some people there, of course. We'll have J-Head on. That's the goal. And I'd also like to have a special guest appearance from Reese Dismukes, one of my all-time favorite Mobilians, played at Spanish Fort High School. And he is definitely a friend of the site. If we had an auburnsports.com Hall of Fame, like players that we have adored through the years, he would be first ballot, no doubt. So we love Reese. I will definitely give you guys a heads up. But it's probably going to be that weekend chip there, whatever it is, March 5th, 6th, 7th, in that range. Jason H says, no way with Cooper's shot is he a first rounder. Dude, yeah, man, I'm with you 100% on that. Like, I'm surprised that there's people who think he's the number 11 prospect in the NBA. And look, man, I understand he's got great things about him. He's super fast. He's super quick with the ball in his hands. I think his vision is insane. I mean, I think it's NBA level. I think his passing is NBA level. He's very creative with the ball. He gets the ball where it needs to go in very creative ways. I love the way that he always has. He picks a lot of great shots considering the situation he's in. Like he's got a teardrop that he'll use and he'll attack with. He can finish right or left-handed. The problem is that he can't shoot. His particularly bad three-point shooter. I bet you he's one of the worst full-time shooting point guards in the nation because I think he's at 22%. I mean, Bryce was at 44% or 46% when they made the big run. And Jared was in that neighborhood, and here he is at 22%. And it's a very slow shot. It has no chance of succeeding in the NBA as it stands right now. So to me, it surprised me. Let's see. J-Rob is with me on this. 11. Number 11, LOL. Mobile Alum asks, have you listened to Reese's podcast? I don't know. Okay, the short answer on that is no. I listened to a show that he did with Kozan. I don't know if does he do the show with Kozan all the time? I don't know. I'm not up on it. I don't listen to podcasts very much. In fact, today I listened to a podcast, and it was the first podcast I listened to, I bet, in 4 months, 6 months. Hell, it was longer than that. It was back when the quarantine first started, and D. Lucky got me listening to some stuff. Tony Kornheiser wise. This one was called, the one I was listening to today was called Hardcore History, and it was one that I only got 20 minutes into it, but it was going to be about Pacific Theater in World War II. My daughter's just kind of down right now. I've been trying to counsel her over text, which is not an easy thing to do. Come on now. Ravine is in the house, who's an absolute badass. We love Ravine. Stoked to have you here, brother. Let's see. Kyle mentions that Mark Anthony Richards is going to Central Florida. I had a very good feeling this was going to happen. I've communicated with Mark Anthony a few times here in the last week, and I was pretty sure that was what was going to happen, but he didn't want to, he was trying to save it. And I don't ever want to steal a kid's thunder. That's just not how we roll here. We're very careful about that. But I made it clear, I think, on the board that I thought Mark Anthony was going to go there. Hey, Chip, you're killing me, bro. It's not this coming weekend, but the next one. Oh, shit, my bad. Never mind. I hope to see you there, though, bro. Chip also says Reese and Kozan apparently do a show, for reals, and it's called Between the Tackles. Those two guys. I've had some conversations with Kozan. This is back when he was playing. That blew me away. That dude is, offensive lineman by trade. I feel like to be an offensive lineman, they have to be really smart, but he's unusually bright, and really, he has a business mind about him. I don't know what he does for a living, but I bet it's in business. I'm drinking the High Gold tonight, Ravine. This is a Rabbit Hole, obviously. This is not too hard to find. I know this is available in Alabama ABC. Let's see. On my scale of 0 to 4, I'd probably give this one a 3. I think it's really sweet on the front end. One thing I really like about this one is it has an appropriate level of burn. The more I've been drinking bourbon, the more I realize that I like bourbons that are either middle of the road harsh or kind of harsh. It seems like whiskeys these days are trying to be as smooth as possible, and it takes away the burn. I'm talking about Michter's. You got to go to Michter's 10, I think, to get enough burn on that stuff, and I think that's just getting too soft. This is only 95 proof, but it's not always about the proof. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Would Scoot reclassify to share time with Cooper? All right, so I've spoken with a couple people that they're not directly related to Scoot Henderson, but they're familiar with like the recruiting scene, not rivals. And they have not heard anything credible suggesting that Scoot is going to reclassify. It's almost like one of those deals where it's like, sure would be sweet if he'd reclassify. And like, he's like, what? What? I don't really think that that's even a thing, honestly, Corey. I know I've seen people talk about it. It's not like I know you didn't just make it up, but I don't think that he's seriously considering that right now. Speaking of that, so Mark Anthony, who's going to be going to Central Florida, reuniting with Gustav and whoever else he's going to, I don't know if he knew Addison or Brian Blackman from recruiting or whatever, but the chatter is that he is going to finish this semester at Auburn and he's going to be a freaking graduate transfer. A graduate transfer. He'd have, I think, 2 seasons left, but he would go down there as an Auburn graduate. Unbelievable, man. Reminds me of Marquise Daniels. Marquise Daniels comes in. I don't know if you guys remember this back in the day. He was like a Prop 48 kid or whatever the number was at that time. He came in as an academic risk, and he graduated in 3 years. Marquise Daniels, there's so many things we marvel about Marquise, and to me, that's the one that really blows me away. He comes in as an academic risk, and instead of being one of those guys who just drags ass and, says, I'm here to ball, I don't give a shit about school or whatever, he actually straightens up, gets serious about studying, and graduates in 3 years. Yeah. What an absolute mad lad. What a total badass. Let's see. Corey says, wasn't he a redshirt freshman this year? I want to say, was it his second season? Was this his second or third season? The person who told me their face was melting over that. They were just like, can you believe he's actually done this? And I just think Mark Anthony, when he got hurt, he was like, I'm just going to triple the class load. You know what I mean? And he's got the brains to do it. I mean, unbelievable. I couldn't do that. No way. Not only could I not do that, he does it and he's playing football while he's practicing and rehabbing. My man, Ravine jumps in. Commodore, travel and drinking money. Thanks for all you do, JG. Thanks for you being here, bro. Ravine, we love you, bro. Let's see if I got a sound for you.
You could drop a tarantula into his shorts and he'll still be cool.
Jason Hill says we need an experienced backup point guard to play with Cooper. I agree completely. Whether Cooper comes back or not, absolutely need another point guard, and they know they need another point guard. So, but I'm going to let this say. I'm going to say this, and I don't want anybody jumping my ass about it. I'm just trying to be proactive for you. If their penalty, Auburn's penalty for Chuck Person, is going to be on par with what Oklahoma State got, Auburn still has some type of scholarship limitation coming. They may be able to do like one scholarship down for 3 years, and that's 3 scholarship loss. Or maybe it's 1 scholarship over 2 years, and that's 2 scholarship loss. If that happens, that's going to complicate matters, right? Because honestly, I think, Javon Franklin might be better off somewhere else. So that's fine. But after that, I don't know. Grindworks says, JGT, do you think the team will make a deep run next year in the tournament without Sharife? That's a good question. It's a great question. Sharife is such an explosive player, and I think if he comes back next year, he would be really, really good. He's good now. Can they do it without him? You know what? There's too much variability there because BP and the staff, they're going to dip into the transfer market, and they're going to get a point guard. I mean, I promise you. Now, whether it's going to be a guy that's up to snuff, I think the floor is going to be Ronnie Johnson, who came in from Houston. You guys may not even remember him. They went and got him off the graduate transfer market, and he was a solid backup for Jared, I think, the first year. Maybe it was the second year. I can't remember. That would have to be the floor. You'd have to get somebody that's just competent to get in there, like a Javon McCormick, who ended up playing pretty damn well, honestly, but I still think of him as like a backup. And yeah, they're just going to have to dig out and figure out somebody. I don't know if you guys have been watching this. I don't know how much college basketball you guys watch because I don't watch a ton, but it seems like every time I turn on the TV, freaking Mac McClung is playing for Texas Tech, and the dude just absolutely slays every night. He's like Hornatius in high school, just slaying every single night. And to think that Auburn was that close to getting Mac McClung. Again, he's not a point guard, but he would have been that shooter that Auburn needed. Just crushing ass, man. And they just lost out, man. I want to look at his numbers real quick. This stuff is crazy. Absolutely insane. Texas Tech's 14-8, but they're 25 in the Ken Palm. Mac McClung is shooting, I don't even want to tell you that number. He's only shooting 34% from 3, though, so that's not incredible, but he's shooting 50% from 2. And that's great for a 6'2 guy. It means he's driving and dishing and getting the ball in the hole and all that kind of stuff. His free throw percentage is 81%. Fouls drawn per 40 is 5.4, which is a pretty good number. It's a real good number. So he's definitely going to the hole and scoring. And he would be, honestly, he'd be better than Al Flanagan at this point. Ay. Win some, you win some, you lose some. What is it that Gattuso says? I got it right over here.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Who knows? Ravine says McClung is an all-around player, plays balls to the wall 24/7. You know what I'm thinking you want to say right there, buddy?
I want to wrestle you so freaking bad.
Corey says if Mac would have signed for 1 year, no Cardwell. Interesting question. I'm not sure how that would have worked out. But I know that this staff was absolutely crazy about Mac McClung. So, yeah. Mobile alum reminds us, this is news as of today, I believe. Jabari Smith, Auburn's outstanding 5-star top 10 signee, has been selected as a McDonald's All-American, and he will play in the game, assuming they have it. My main man, Mike G. from the War Report, is on the show. He's in the chat. Love you guys. He says, and somehow we're still hopeful for the future. Absolutely. I mean, as Pocket Watch said earlier, man, this was pretty much trashed a long time ago, right? This season. Because, first of all, Sharife wasn't available for, the first 12 games. Justin gets a skull fracture or whatever's gone down here. And they were shorthanded anyway. And they had so many young dudes. I think Auburn is actually objectively the youngest team in the entire NCAA, I think. Let me see. Let me make sure that's true. I don't want to lie to you. According to Ken Palm, they are currently ranked 346 in terms of experience. That is not last in the country. That is last among Power 5 conferences. There's some Ivy League teams that have essentially nobody. Ivy League's not playing. Yes. So that's not even fair, is it? Let's take all them out. These teams must not be playing. Bethune-Cookman is not playing, right? And Maryland Eastern Shore must not be playing. Let's see. Are they playing? No. Maryland Eastern Shore is not playing, so they don't even count. Alabama A&M's playing, though. Sort of. They haven't played a lot. So it's Auburn and Alabama A&M are the least experienced teams in the entire country. And then Duke is as well, as much as I hate them. They've been kind of sucking this year, but they're also very young. They're 11-8. Any minute now, Krzyzewski's going to be like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, Pete Gaudet, where are you? So they are pretty much the youngest team in the country. So I had a feeling this is going to be a calamity. Corey W. says, Virginia double dribbled. Yep, they sure did. They sure did. Let's see what Hornatius has to say here. Let's see what kind of jabber's coming out of his mouth today. Slowly moving my Auburn entertainment dollars to War Report because Jay is mean AF. He tried that earlier on the bunker and got a couple laughs, I'm sure. And now he's trying the same line here on the show. Oh, no. I don't want to start that. I just don't want to start that. Love the Cat says, JK, but I love the War Report. Dude, I like it too. I was a guest on there. I support those guys fully. I love what they're doing. Absolutely. War Report says, what's crazy is they have not quit in these last couple of beatdowns. Bruce still has them fighting like hell. Look, man, I completely agree. And what's weird on that, Mike, is that you and I are on the same page. Not that we're alone, but there's a lot of people, particularly on the bunker, who felt like this team quits. They say, can you believe they've quit like this? And I don't see it. I don't see any quit. They absolutely got railroaded by LSU on the defensive end for sure. It was embarrassing, honestly. But I didn't think they were quitting. I think they just don't, to me, it's like they don't engage. Like they just mentally kind of check out. And it's not because they're scared. It's not equivalent to spitting the bit. It's just like they just get overwhelmed by all the shit going on. And as BP said on the Zoom the other day, the biggest difference from high school to college is on the defensive end, understanding assignments and rotations and what you need to do because things change when they attack different ways on different sides of the defense. You got to figure out, very quickly you become the help side defender and you've got to drop to have protection on the rim and all that kind of stuff. And they have a hard time. It's not intelligence. It's just they're not used to these flow charts. You know what I mean? These mental flow charts. And Auburn's having some trouble with that. Let's see. Hornacia says, can we ride in the Treep and just talk, Jay? I need to ask my wife first, though. Yeah, you do have to ask your wife. Those of us who have been on the brain drain a lot for a long time remember when you had to sneak a call in, you had to hide your call to the show from your wife. And then when she discovered that you were on the phone, you oh, man, this dude is killing me right here. What in the world? This is not. People just want to fuss with me. Well, actually, this guy's not even fussing with me. He's fussing with somebody else, but he's trying to get me involved, and I don't like it. I get myself in enough trouble on my own. I don't need to be dealing with other people's trauma. See what we got on here. Oh, we got a super chat coming through from B. Will from the show, from the War Report. Says the War Report loves JG. Come on back and visit for a post A-Day session. Post A-Day session? God dang, man. That's going to be like 2 months. A-Day's like, what, April 11 or something like that? Shoo. Maybe I can come in before then. We can at least do like a spring training halfway point or some shit like that. I don't know. The problem is that me and Mike get on the same wavelength with this stuff, right? Because he and I, he's a little more into the strength and training than I am. Like he saw a lot of fault in that where I didn't. But on the other stuff, we're pretty much in lockstep on stuff. So I think Mike gets it all out in the show. And then if I come on there, it's just like, it's like double. Hornacia says, can my wife call the War Report? I don't think that's how it works in your family. I think that, it works the other way. I think you have to ask for her permission. I think at the food chain in your family, the wife's at the top. And I'm not even really like hating on you for that specifically because I am myself married to a very strong-minded woman, and I'm not hating on women like that. I'm just saying, don't floss like you're the head of the household because you're not. That's all I'm saying. Caesar says it's April 18th. What's up, Caesar? Glad to have you, bro. Caesar's another part of the War Report group, the Fearsome Force. War Report says Sharife is long gone. I'm going to tell you what. If this ankle injury, could it be him opting out? We're going to find out. If he's not available for this Tennessee game, I'm going to get real skeptical about it, honestly. but it's just Sharif's a difficult one to assess because I don't think he's a top 10 pick. And I think some of these are very optimistic projections. And I think that comes from a family where they're not poor. You hear kids say all the time, I got to provide for my family and stuff, which is absolutely true in most cases. I mean, we all know a lot of kids that have become great athletes that came from difficult circumstances, to say the least. And not to say that Reef hasn't had to fight his way up. He has. People have been telling him he's too thin and too small his whole career. But he doesn't come from a poor family. So I don't think it's like, I got to go get that paycheck. I don't think he's in a hurry. And I don't think he needs to be in a hurry. I think it's better like that. He can make a really calm decision about what's best for him, and you don't have to worry about, hey, I got bills to pay or whatever. Love the Cat says he could be Auburn's first third and done. No, that's funny right there. Michael N says Bruce will recommend he stays another year. It's just best for him. Yes, that's true. I would imagine that it's true. I don't know that for sure, but Sharif's dad is Omar. He's pretty dialed in the basketball circuit, so he's going to be able to make an intelligent decision on that as well. He's going to be able to offer some intelligent insight, talk to some people who really know a lot about it. But if you're asking me, if you're saying, JG, what do you think is going to happen? I think Sharif's going to be back. I really do. And I think it's because of the things that I've said. He's got things to work on. He can be a top 5 pick, I think, if he gets the three-point shot going. If he's shooting 35 or 40% from three right now, he's probably a top 5 pick, and he's gone. But he's not there right now. Plus, he knows Jabari real well. I think they would really like to play together. I think they're tighter than he and Okoro were. And then, the money thing, the money angle, the financial angle. It is what it is. Like, he doesn't come from difficult circumstances financially. Hornation says, Katang, we got the whole War Rapport crew in here. I would love to know their bunk handles. It's Ayler, Rice DP 105, and Cook EDW. I'm just kidding. I know it's not. My daughter's been having some relationship drama, and I didn't know what to say. When you're a dad, you're not exactly sure what to say to kind of cheer them up, because I don't think they really. I think she's probably taken whatever her mother tells her a little bit more to heart. I mean, administrative assistant is she's a girl. She knows how to speak girl, but decided to tell Maddie for the first time. You guys know the story, but I got dumped by a girl for a girl one time. And I felt like this might be a good time to tell her about it. I think she was genuinely surprised. It doesn't define me, though, Hornatius. I don't even need to hear any shit from you about it. In fact, you're the last one I need to hear anything about. Mobile Alum says, doesn't he really love AU and Bruce? Yeah, particularly Ira Bowman. Ira Bowman and Omar are buddies for sure. I think that's fair to say. I think that's fair to say. GI's in here as well. What's up, man? Glad to have you guys here en masse. That's awesome. Corey says if he's projected first round, Bruce will push him to go. 3 first round picks in consecutive years. Hell of a recruiting tool. Absolutely. That cannot be understated, because I think I mentioned this before. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but the caliber of player that BP and his staff are going after, you have to recruit them in a completely different way than the guys they were recruiting when they got Horace, because they're going at like top end 5-star guys. And the way, for the most part, I don't know as though Jabari's in this group because he's kind of an odd character, but most kids in that group, they want to see, this guy gets me to the league. Here are the 5 most recent first-round picks, and here's how much they've made, And BP is just now, let's say that Sharif does go top 15 or whatever. Now BP could get in those conversations where it was only Calipari and Krzyzewski and maybe Roy Williams, although it's sliding away a little bit at North Carolina, isn't it? I'm not sad to see it go. Bill Self, Mark Few, maybe a little bit. Auburn didn't necessarily go against Gonzaga, but they might at some point. But at that point, BP can say, okay, Chuma's making X dollars. Okoro's getting more minutes than any rookie in the NBA, and he's making X dollars. Sharif signed a $4 million deal. Now you've got money. Now you can say, I get guys into the league and they're going to make big money. And now you unlock that upper half of the 5-star world. And I'm not saying Auburn wins all of them, but Auburn wins one of them. One every year, and it's game on. That's how you do it right there. Hornacia says, JB, changing the world one lesbian at a time. Mobile alum says, let's talk football and the awesome job Harsin is doing. In fact, I'm glad you said that because I have a little graphic. And where did it go? I had a graphic for you. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. I do have a graphic for you. It's a little bit small. I should have changed the dimensions on it, but I screwed up, and we'll just have to eat it. The new additions here for the football team, they've added 2 in the last, 4 or 5 days. Dylan Brooks, the defensive end from Roanoke, Alabama, Handley High School, who signed with Tennessee out of high school, was recently, as in Friday, I believe it was, released from his NLI, and he was, I guess you could use the phrase, he's a free agent, and he immediately committed to Auburn, and he's going to be playing at Auburn. So he is a defensive end, as you can see from the photo. It's not a great photo. It's from the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. He's not the biggest dude yet. He's going to need to add some weight, depending on what they want to do with him. Jeffrey Lee has him slotted as a stud, like a rush end, but there's also some thought that he could be more of a Marlin, because Marlin was really kind of a strong side and a rush end. I think of him more as a strong side, or maybe even a really quick 3 technique, but Marlin kind of could do a little bit of both, and we'll just have to see how Dylan goes. I think they could kind of groom him to be a quicker dude, or they could groom him to gain 30 pounds and be more of a Marlin and kind of a guy who can hold an edge a little bit better. We'll see how that develops. They also picked up Drayshawn Miller, a cornerback from West Virginia University, a guy who Al Pogue knew well because he coached him when he was at West Virginia, and part of a defense. I know West Virginia, I don't really think of them very much, honestly, in the national scene at all, but their defense was strong last year, and their defensive backs were particularly good, and Drayshawn was a big part of that. I'm trying to think. He went to high school in Marietta at Sprayberry, and then he went to Eastern Arizona for JUCO. He goes to West Virginia. His first year, he has to sit out because he's injured his knee. Second year, he started last year. He was a big part of the rotation there. He finished with 31 tackles. I think he had – I'm trying to think. He had like a sack. He did not have any picks, though. We talked about this on the rundown today. They're getting a lot of cornerbacks now. Talking about guys that are coming back. I mean, you got Roger, who's a good cornerback. You got Jalen, who I think a ton of. Nehemiah statistically had an insane year for what he was doing. It seemed like he'd made the most of his snaps. Plus, you got Marco Domio, who started some games, and I tend to be a believer in him as well. Then you add in Drayshawn, and then you add Kamal Haddon as well, who's in JUCO right now, Independence, Kansas. Kansas JUCO's shifted their season to the spring. And so they're playing now, and we'll just kind of see what he can do during this JUCO season. But that's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of cornerbacks, and you can only play, I guess, 3. I mean, you could play 2 cornerbacks plus a nickel. You can make a cornerback a nickel, but I do happen to love Ladarius Tennyson, and I'll fight anybody that wants to rag on him. Corey W. says, can we talk development? Mike G has some thoughts. Hey, I made a reference on the show when I was on War Report about AI, that I had a bunch of sound bites from AI. I think I was telling Caesar that, but here's the one I was talking about.
If I come in here and look swole and big and strong and tough, y'all gonna give me that award, right?
Yeah. Allen Iverson, my man. Corey W. says, secondary on paper looks stacked. Lots of good players back there. And we actually gave credit to Smoke today, who was one of Auburn's Strengths Ironman of the Week, which means he was doing a hell of a job in the weight room. And I know that's hard work, man, particularly this time of year when nobody gives a shit what you're doing except your teammates and your coaches. It's hard to go in there and grind for 2-3 hours a day, and, there's no benefit that anyone ever sees. But they'll see it on Saturdays this fall. Hornatius says, development, take a shot, Jay. I can do that. Drinking this Rabbit Hole High Gold. It's delicious. I had a chance to go on WMSP here in Montgomery, talking with Russell Terry on, what day was that? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And he always makes time for me to be able to talk about some bourbon, too. He was asking what he thought the best value in bourbon was, and the best value in bourbon is Eagle Rare, if you can find it. $35 a bottle, whatever it is. It's delicious. That's a 10-year bourbon, and it tastes great, I think. Caesar says that was a classic line from AI. It's the all-time best sports rant ever. I mean, it's the all-time greatest. And here's the great thing. For the longest time, the only part of that was on the internet, on YouTube or whatever, was like a 2-minute highlight, which was probably the best part of it was the whole practice rant. But the practice rant is part of probably a 45-minute interview that he did. Very wide-ranging. And I happen to love Allen Iverson, and that interview is unbelievable. And it's now on YouTube. So you guys can check that out if you do like Allen Iverson practice rant. You can get the 2-minute one, which is when he says, all this kind of stuff right here.
We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We're talking about practice.
You can get all that stuff, but if you go to the 45-minute one, he gets real deep on some stuff, and he starts getting real philosophical with some of the reporters. And also, to his credit, one of the things I loved about AI is that the sports information guy tried to get in there and be like, okay, that's enough, and that's enough, because when it started getting a little adversarial, and Allen goes, no, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here until I answer every one of their questions. I love this. I was like, that's my guy right there. He gets it, man. He gets it. Like, he's just having fun with it, and he's speaking his mind. Shot coming down. That's good, man. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to do that, Hornatius. Canoe Man's pumped. Carrie says, is DD an early enrollee going through spring practice? I don't think so. I could be wrong. I wish I had Jeffrey Lee here. He would know that for sure. Mobile Alum says, did that video of Harsin working out with the players get you? I don't think I saw that one. Who are we talking about if they're stacked? Who are we talking about getting stacked? I need some answers. AU Taxman says Harsin to name 6 starting corners, just like that time that Gus named 5 starting tailbacks. Hey now. Pocket Watch says I still have to listen to the entire Iverson press conference. I mean, look, dude, I'm a hardcore Allen Iverson fan, so I listened to the whole thing. I could see where it would get a little boring for people who weren't maybe as into Iverson, but it's so easy, I think, for people who aren't in media to listen to the 2-minute version and say, these reporters are such assholes. I don't know why they're always giving him hell or whatever. And then when you watch the 45-minute version, you can kind of see how it works. Like, they're asking him questions, and he isn't mad. He's very clearly not mad. Even when he starts talking tersely, he's not mad at them. He's mad at the situation. He's mad that he's having to answer for a team's failure when he's one dude. There's 4 other starters. There's, 7 or 8 other dudes that play every night. Like, why does he have to be the one to answer in the midst of his own personal crisis when his friend was shot and killed? It's a big story. I'm not trying to go too deep now. This is not an Iverson show. I'm just telling you the things that are important to me. Oh, I was devastated when my friend Darren told me that I should never wear an Iverson jersey. I was going to get one. I would wear one if I felt comfortable doing it. I mean, maybe I will someday. I don't know. Let's see. Grindworks says, JGT, do you think we have any chance of winning 10 or more games this upcoming season? I mean, dude, there's always a chance. Caesar says DD is an early enrollee. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. At least I'll tell you what I don't know. I'm just not. I get scrambled in the head about who's here and who's not. Let's see. Mobile Alum says he thinks that AU Twitter had footage of, I guess you were talking about Harsin working out with the team. That sounds pretty cool. I'd like to see that. AU Taxman says, while looking for that Iverson interview, take a minute to find his high school football highlights. Dude was insane. He's just an incredible athlete. And, there were so many people that were eager to shit on him when he was a player because of what happened in the bowling alley. He actually went to jail for a period of time for inciting a riot at a bowling alley in Hampton, Virginia. And John Thompson, who I loathe, but who wisely said, this is not a bad kid. This is a kid who needs a chance to just come play some ball. Got him to Georgetown. The rest is history. Hell of a player. Ornacious says his wife's got him drinking Strawberry Hill tonight. What's the deal with that, bro? Ay. Corey says drinking bourbon 5 out of 7 days tends to scramble the head. No, it's 4. It's only 4. And I don't drink on Mondays.
Yeah, on Monday, I won't make it on Monday because I have someone calls on Monday.
I don't drink on Mondays. I wasn't going to drink today if it hadn't been for Hornacious. Hey, now. AU Law's in the house. What's up, bro? We'll give you an air horn for that. Hell yeah. We haven't seen you in a minute. Glad to have you here, bro. Hornacious hitting the Boone's Farm tonight. You know it's going really, really well when he's drinking the Boone's Farm. Is there anything left with basketball we need to talk about? I mean, this situation tonight, I mean, when we all heard that Sharife wasn't going to be playing, you knew what time it was. I mean, I think everybody knew what time it was. Blake's in the house. Says, that's a pretty natty outfit you got there, brother. I think I said that last time, too, and I will continue saying it because it's continuing to be a natty outfit. How's it going, JGT? I'm working and listening along with the Dre. Glad to have you, sir. If there's a soundbite you would like, I'd be happy to play one for you. I think I've played them all pretty much. I'm always looking for more. You're not mad, but
a game. Why do you have to be mad?
I know you're not mad, but anyway. AU Law, look at this flex right here. He's drinking some 1792 12-year. Woo! Did you get that in the allocation, bro? Ravine says, are we still doing a flight night, JG? So thank you for asking, Ravine. I hope that you would be able to make it. We were going to do a flight night in February. It might have been January. The days get away from me, drinking 4 nights a week. So my goal was to do a flight night at my local watering hole here in East Montgomery and try to get maybe, 20 people there. Appreciate you, Blake. And we would just talk and drink and do the bourbon thing. And when I canvassed the site, the bunker, people had a lot of reservations about, hey, I don't really want to go here in the middle of a pandemic, which is a totally fair issue. So my thought was my bar here in town, the Tipping Point, they have an outdoor area as well. Actually, they have 2. So if we were going to do a flight night at a time of year when it's warm, let's say April, May, June, it doesn't even have to be in June, more like April, May, the nighttime temperatures are like 65, we can just sit outside. And I don't think the COVID risk will be a lot lower. Plus, at that point, let's say we do it in April or May, there's going to be a significant number of us, people chatting right now, who are going to be inoculated by then, and then we don't have to worry about it at all. So maybe we'll do that, April, May. My thought was we get, 25 folks together. We would drink. I'd already figured out which bourbons we were going to do. It was going to be good stuff. We were going to do the Magnus. We were going to do Blanton's. We're going to do one of the Old Forester Whiskey Rose. I forget what the 4th one was. And, I was going to do a little history on them, talked a little bit about them, try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to bourbon, and we just kind of do it that way. We're going to have an ongoing series of events with the goal of those events to donate 100% of the money to a Kevin Green Scholarship Fund, which is not yet fully realized because it takes time to do that through the university. But it's something we're going to set up at auburnsports.com through the university. With the university, it's going to be sanctioned by the university. It ain't going to be like JG, like, yeah, man, I'll get their money to you. I'll get the money, I promise. I mean, it's going to be the university's going to do it. And we're going to get that thing endowed, and we're going to start helping fund some students, Auburn students, who are pursuing degrees or pursuing careers in the armed forces, and also with emphasis on people who are currently in the armed forces who come back to Auburn and want to move forward, because I know that's something that Kevin Green was passionate about and would be the most passionate about in this situation. Absolutely. Warwick says, Jay, come back to Soho. Let's get lit TF up. Actually communicated with, both owners of that site, but one in particular, about doing that. We do need to do that. Had a good time meeting you, Warwick, and some of the other people. AU Taxman was cool. Some of the other ones there, I wasn't sure about, honestly. That's where we met Overman, too. Overman, he got in my face a little bit, like, earlier in the year. Well, it was late. I guess it was late last year. Yeah, he was getting in my face. I don't know about him, man. He's a little suspect. He's a little sus. So Ravine is in favor of a flight night when we get things calmed down a little bit. I mean, there's going to be a point this year, and I don't even think it's going to be that far away, when I think we can kind of, if we do it intelligently. I mean, for me, I'm already there, but it's not about me. It's about, more people feeling comfortable about going out and doing it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can't even count how many times I've been out to eat since since August. Hornacious with another super chat. The guy's been a beast tonight as usual. Jay's administrative assistant bought him an app platter. My administrative assistant bought me a treep.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I don't know which one's which, buddy, but yeah. Sorry, I had to answer this one. This is somebody I had to answer. Yeah, so I've gone out to eat. I go to the gym every day. I always mask up. I actually double mask, but I do everything I can, and I'm not a COVID truther or anything like that. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible while at the same time living my life. That's it. My wife gets her second shot Sunday. My mom gets her second shot a week from today. So the two girls in my life, because my daughter's in college, she's like out of my sphere now, are going to be fully inoculated within 2 weeks. So I'm pretty fired up about that. That way, if anybody gets sick, it's just me. It's not going to be them. Blake says it's the administrative assistant. You better answer. It was not. She could just walk up the stairs if she wanted to have something to say. Corey says, refuse to wear a mask in the gym. I wear one when I come in, but when I'm on the machine or whatever I'm doing, I don't wear it. And nobody else does either, so it's cool. Well, I know some people do. But I'm going to be honest, dude. I didn't start going back to the gym until late October. I was so scared about going back. And then when I got back there, I realized that like 10% of the people still go. Like when I used to go to the gym and I'd go at about 9 in the morning or so, just because that's the way my schedule worked, there'd be probably, 25, 30 people in there at the Bell Road Y. And it would be, at that time before the pandemic, nobody gave a shit. I mean, if you were working out next to somebody, nobody cared. But I was like, man, I don't want to go back and have it be like that. So I go back in October and it's like me and 4 people, and even today, late February now, it's like me and 5 people. It's not 6 feet of space for us. It's like 30 feet of space, if not more. Might be 50 feet of space. I never feel threatened with people near me in the gym at all. So that's kind of where it is. Corey says, you still hitting a Y? Absolutely, sir. I am officially down 32 pounds since October 26th. So that's good. I gained weight significantly during the lockdown because I was so scared to go to the gym, and I think my eating depends on me going to the gym to keep things under control. And since I was scared to go to the gym, that didn't work out very well. But the good news is that I got all that taken out and then some. So, I'm already lower than I was before. Seeing if I can get this damn thing up. Yeah, this is my weight. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's my weight. Yeah, oops. Looks like the state of Maine up there, doesn't it? You can see I've already knocked out. I'm even now with where I was in July of 2019, so I fixed all that back up. I still got a little work to do, of course. My goal right now is to get down to 100. I went to see my physician in the middle of October, and he was like, dude, you've gained a lot of weight. It's not good. I knew it. And I was like, when I come back to you, I go every 6 months. When I come back to you, you're going to see a different situation. So don't tell him. But I've already lost 32. My goal is to get to 40. When I want his. Yeah. When I come back in April or whatever, I want him to go. What happened? Jason says, if you lost it, I found it. Hey now. Hey now. All right, buddy. It's really Corey Dub can say this. I know you're I know you're a particularly fit guy, but it's more about eating than it is exercise, though. Honestly, the exercise just helps me make better decisions with eating. Honestly, that's how it works for me. But I think in general, it's more about dieting than it is exercise. And I do want to give full credit to the administrative assistant because she's lost at least as much as I have, if not more. And she doesn't go to the gym. Like she's not going to do that. So she's just doing eating, and she walks too. But it's mostly eating for her, and she's done an awesomer job than I have. Master Rocker says, "Congrats, JGT. I'm down 30+ pounds since COVID. Attaboy. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it right there, man. Let me give you a little applause for that one. Good stuff. Love the cats, who might be the thinnest person I know. Seriously. I mean, yeah, what are you, Hornacious Bear? What are you, maybe 150 pounds? I don't even know what you are. You look like if somebody took a rug and just stood it up. He says portion control. Is that how you stay thin, bro? B. Will says it's mostly diet. Amen. And Corey says diet is definitely 90% of the battle. I don't feel like people tell you that, like you guys are, but if you Google, if you YouTube like how to lose weight, they're like, you got to get on the cardio machine for 30 minutes a day, and you got to lift weights, and you got to do core, and all that stuff is awesome. But I do some of all of that, but it's really about eating. Hornacious says he dropped from 285 to 200. Is that true? I don't believe you. I'm not saying you're a liar, but it surprises me because I've only known you as like a really thin dude, and you say you're 200, but I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but you're taller than I am. I don't know how tall you are. Maybe 6'1", something like that, 6'2". I don't know. Master Rocker says drop from 229 to 195. Ooh, man, I'd like to be 195. Be good. Warwick says got that Barney Fife figure. Let's keep shitting on Hornacious. I love it. It's my favorite things. I love the cat says he's 6'4.5". I didn't realize you were that tall. You describe yourself as looking crackheadish. Warwick, I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's a pretty apt description. Yes, Warwick is on board. He's on board with that one. What else we got? Anything else? Corey says HIT workouts, which I don't know what that is right away. Workouts are best for men, excuse me, also for him, in terms of weight loss. 30 minutes on the treadmill literally does nothing. I'm going to have to disagree with you there, which I shouldn't do this because I know that you know what you're talking about, but 30 minutes on the treadmill, if done correctly, does a lot for me. If I'm doing interval training on a treadmill where I'm going like on the slow end, 4.5 miles an hour, on the high end, maybe 7.5, which for me is at 7.5, I'm going. I would not be able to sustain 7.5 miles an hour for more than, I usually go 30 to 45 seconds at that speed. Like I wouldn't be able to go. And there's a girl in there who's like, this is the worst thing. So if I go 7.5, like I'm going 45 seconds and I'm going to die. Like I got to slow down. There's a girl in there who weighs probably a third of what I do, but she's pregnant. She's like 8.5 months pregnant. She's got this huge balloon in her belly, and she's jogging at 7.5. Like she's not even sweating. It's just boom, 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 boom. And she could do this for just, she goes for 30 or 45 minutes at a time. Hornacious says burning any extra calories help. I think that Corey is not against burning calories. He's just. Let's see. Blake says cardio doesn't really help you lose weight. Diet is definitely a major part. I agree. It dropped over 30 pounds, but before just by changing my diet and not drinking anything but water and bourbon or rye. Hey, I found seriously that I don't think bourbon affects it too much. But my problem is that for me, it's snacking. And I made a mistake around Christmas time because I don't know, I just got hungry, I guess. I don't know if it's a hibernation thing when it's cold outside or whatever, but I started eating pistachios because they're nuts, man. They're just like shit you find, you know what I mean? Like there's a pistachio bush or some shit like that or tree or whatever. No, you can't do that. You can't just sit down there and just knock out 5 handfuls of pistachios. It's bad. Master Rocker says, didn't go on a diet, just made permanent changes. That's how you do it right there. I think that's how it goes. What you're describing is HIT training, high interval training. See, I didn't even know what it was called. GI says high intensity interval training. Yes. Yes, that to me, that's the best thing that happens. Call Me Biscuit says, is this the Richard Simmons show? I love it. Hey guys, let's get it going. Let's get it going, guys. I love it. Let that sweat out. I'm just having fun, man. We're just talking about stuff. Warwick says, I heard the Curves Gym in Montgomery has some runners. Glad you can confirm this. Man, I had this theory, dude, Warwick. So there was this, there was a gym here in town called Metro Fitness. And it was, I looked at it as kind of a boutique gym. People like Corey would not have wanted to go there because it was kind of girl oriented, and I don't even know if they had free weights. But it was like, it was kind of a girly place, and then they closed up shop at the end of December, and I thought, okay, so there's going to be an influx of soccer moms coming to the Bell Road Y or the East End Y or whatever because they don't know where else to go. Well, guess what? Not a one. I don't know where they went. I don't know if they fell into like an exercise black hole or what, but there's been no uptick in hot soccer chicks at either one of my gyms. Just telling you my story. Corey says Metro was $75 a month. Shit, I thought it was more than that. Interesting. I just know I went there twice on guest passes, and I was floored by how hot the chicks were in there. It's been a few years, though, to be fair. This is starting to sound a lot like a summer show, wasn't it? Warwick says, so it was a place for people with hair like us. I don't know about like us. I don't think, do you color your hair? Corey says they went to Crunch, I would guess. Yeah, you would know. Why didn't I ask you, Corey? Shit, of course you would have known. I don't know where that is, and I don't think I'm going, but cool. At least I know now. Uh-oh. Guess what we've got? Well, you guys can't see it, but stop this Facebook. Oh, wow. Look at you. If you guys recall, about 5 minutes ago, I was telling Hornatius that I did not believe him that he was a heavy kid, and he just sent photo proof on my Facebooks. Although, you don't look fat to me in that picture, though, honestly. I understand you're a tall dude, and you just don't look heavy to me. But whatever. I appreciate you, bro. Pocket Watch says a summer show was needed after this basketball season. We're almost to that point, right? We have to be doing summer shows. Because, we're going to have football, though. But after whatever that is, April 18th or whatever, we're in trouble. We're still going to do, actually, I got this worked out yesterday. I've got a new way to do video chats. Not chats, video. I'll be able to add Brian, Christian, Jeffrey Lee to shows like this. I know the guys of the War Report are like, dude, seriously, welcome to 3 years ago or whenever you guys are doing it. But I have figured out a really nice lag-free way for me to do it on this platform. And I'm looking forward to being able to do some of that. I think we're going to start doing some diamond wrap-ups on Sundays for baseball and softball, particularly once they get into conference season. And then we'll be doing that, and we can talk about whatever. We'll have Brian with me or Jay Lee with me or Christian or whoever. We'll figure it out. No, I'm not going to have Caesar and Mike G. and okay. Let's do what we're going to do. Love the Cats wants to do girls who want to poke. I don't think it's called that. Corey says it's in the old, talking about Crunch, it's in the old Best Buy on the bypass. Good God, that's a huge space. Never been heard it was too crowded? Dude, that must be 10,000 square feet in there. Warwick says his wife cut him off from the guy lights. What? Why would she do that? Why would she do that? Let's see. Call Me Biscuit says you've been doing that on G-Pits forever. Confused. I don't know. You have to give me a little bit more specifics. I don't know what you're talking about. Glad to see you, Biscuit. You're the best. Well, I mean, you're in that top group. You're the top group. Hornatius wants to do girls who want to poke, so I feel like we should do it. Hornatius is always clamoring for that. This is something we used to do in the summertime. For those of you who have not been part of the show, Fat Crack, we love you, bro. Wish you were here, R.I.P. We just kind of thumb through the girls that we through the years. I never take Jill down because the girl in the fuchsia dress is just the hottest chick I've ever seen in my life. I did once share lunch with her at University of Georgia Stadium. Call Me Biscuit says, haven't you been doing that on G-Pits forever, having 3 guys on at once? So, now then. Yes, but if you notice, we don't do video. When I do with the show, the G-Pits show with Neil and Gabriel, we just do that over Skype. Because the video was giving us all kinds of trouble, but I think we're Gucci now. So anyway. Jill Arrington there on the left used to do sideline reporting for CBS. Me and Krista Turner, Lori Dan, if you guys remember, they used to cover Auburn years ago. And Jill Arrington had lunch one time at University of Georgia, and Jill Arrington was the hottest woman I've ever seen in person. Like, she's unbelievable. Like, just unbelievable. Yeah. So that's why she stays there. She gets a permanent spot up here. This is, that's Jenna Lane. Covers the Bucks for ESPN. I think she's lovely. You guys know Jenny there on the right and the Red Sox. You all know about her. What else we got here? What else can we pull up here? Allison Stokey, who's one of, I think that's one of Hornatius's favorites. Corey says we should have done this back in the Habatten days. Yeah, we should have. I think this would have gone over well. Tommy Lahren, she is what she is, but she's a super hot chick. I'll tell you that. Ali Wong, who I think that was a Jazzy Joe request, as I recall. She's lovely. Shannon Spake. Yeah. I know if you guys listen to the Stern Show, Ronnie recently counted down his 10 hottest chicks, and he had Shannon Spake on there in the middle of the pack. He had her as like the 5. She apparently is a Stern Show fan. I did not know that. Abby Hornacek, daughter of Jeff Hornacek. I can't get Jeff Hornacek out of my mind. I don't, whatever. Roz Gold, who's lovely. That's another Jazzy Joe entrant. I think Jazzy Joe's a fan for sure. I think we all are a fan, honestly, but Jazzy Joe brought her to our attention. I don't watch a lot of Hornets games or Warriors games. Excuse me. I don't know this chick's name. You guys probably do, but this is Wayne Gretzky and Janet Jones's daughter. Not fair for her because her mom's a supermodel. But Warwick says the pole vaulter, Allison Stoke, can use my pole anytime. I'm sure she's clamoring for that. I'm quite sure that she'd be very stoked to learn that. These are the girls that. Okay, we're gonna add somebody for the first time in a long time because we've been going through. Master Rocker, we're gonna get you. Paige, hold on, we're gonna do this. Paige Spiranak. I'm not a golfer, so I don't watch this. Oh my. Oh, I'm doing like the George Takei. Oh my. Let me try to find a good one here. Because you just get one shot at this stuff. Yeah, we'll do this one. This is a Master Rocker would like to see. Oh, where did it go? Dadgummit. It's making it hard for me to show it to you, bro. Oh, yeah. Anyway, she's a golfer and she's super hot, but, well, yeah. She's very busty. See if I can get this picture over here. They make it harder for you to get these pictures over here, man. There we go. I mean, I don't think anybody here is going to have a problem with that. I'm not familiar with golf at all, so you could have just made up a name, and I'd have been like, sure. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Let's see. Oh, we got Bo is great in the house. Man, we have so much good stuff here. I've missed this stuff. Let's see. Corey Dubs says, can she pop the 3 like her dad could? I'm out like Jay Lee in a trash can. If after speaking of that, Hornatius, I did tweet that, or I sent a message to Jay Lee this afternoon. I didn't realize you had changed your thing to Jay Lee's head on Oscar the Grouch because he got put in a trash can, and I sent it to Jay Lee today. He was very, very stoked. He felt like he was BMAT famous now. Yeah. Oh, Boa's Great comes in to shit on the theme here. Remember when Auburn was the blue blood of SEC basketball? Then he says Warwick uses Stretch Armstrong's pole to vault. My goodness gracious, what have you done? Jason H says she's an Instagram golfer. Oh, okay. So she's not a real golfer, so I wouldn't really know. Corey says, I haven't seen one with a good calf game yet. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Where is that chick? This girl right here. Tell me she doesn't have calves. Come on, Corey. Step up your game, bro. That's the girl that does the golf interviews, and she absolutely has adequate calves. Come on, bro. But I hear you, man. That's an underrated element. That's a Zumba girl right there. You know what I'm talking about. Swing is what Blake R says. Swing, swing, swing. That would be Claudia Schiffer if we were doing the actual swing on that one. Yeah, Warwick is pretty fired up about that. So Margot Robbie, yeah, no complaints there. I mean, it's whatever you're looking for. That's some chick that Ruxy Poo was trying to get us onto there. Jennifer Connelly, who I think's on a show now. I'm really fired up about that. I haven't seen it. Don't know what it's called, but she's hot. No doubt about it. Who else we got? Anybody else here? Oh, yeah, Aunt Becky, who went to jail briefly. It happens. Sometimes people end up in jail. This is like a conservative girls' soiree, I guess. And the thing I like about this picture is because I love you guys so much, I would let you guys pick the first 3 girls, and I'll take the 4th. I plead the 4th on this one. I do that because I love you guys. So whatever you guys feel like the ugly one is there, I'll take it. I'll give you a hint. It's because there is no ugly girl. Actually, my number 1 pick there, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but my number 1 pick there would be black dress. So I would go 1, 4, 3, 2 would be my pick on that one. I bet you Warwick is going a different direction with that, and I bet you AU Taxman's going a different direction with that as well, which is fine. It's fine. That's why the world's a wonderful place. That's why cross-eyed turds like myself end up getting married. Hornatius says, wrap it up. You think I'm going to get that one from administrative assistant? It's only 9:43. We haven't talked about anything sports-related in 45 minutes. It's fine. No problem. AUBKV's in the house. Says, signing on. Glad to see this is still going on. Love the brain drain. Blake R says, ain't an ugly one. No, there's not. AUBKV says, signing off. Love you guys. I hope you're doing well. He gone. He's gone. This is Lisa Booth, conservative pundit, I guess we would call her. And, yeah, I'm a big fan of the bandana and the hair. I'm a big fan of that. It reminds me of Bananarama, who I had a big crush on back in the day. I don't know if you guys know who Bananarama is, but you should. If you're my age, you should for sure. Belinda Carlisle, who I had a big crush on back in the day. Not sure who that is. Sometimes we do these in a drunken stupor. That was I don't remember who asked us about that. Hornatius, is that one of the girls you came up with? That was somebody from Friday Night Lights, but I mean, if you guys are into that, that's cool. Seems pretty young to me. I don't know who that is right off. I don't know all the personalities like y'all do. Could that be Chris Budden? I don't know. Not sure on that one. That's definitely one of Ruxy Poo's. I don't even know where you guys come up with that one. I don't know, Corey. That might be the calf game you're looking for there, though, bro. Could be. Oh, this is the chick. This is one I added right here. She's from Big Brother. Her name is Christmas. Now, I think she's about 3/4 crazy, but that doesn't really matter. She's pretty hot. All right, so that's Gals We Adore. It's been an unbelievable show. Again, doing the Gals We Adore. I got to get back to basketball, seriously, though. Or else bad things are going to happen. Blake Arce's Pat Benatar. Man, get out of here. Get Pat Benatar out of here, bro. I mean, stop. Uh-oh, Corey likes it. Says those abs, though, on Christmas. Yeah. She's pretty fit, huh? And that's when I noticed her. AU Law 20 says CrossFitter. Call Me Biscuit says she would crush you. I think these are all true. But was great says Susanna Hoffs, who is the lead singer of the Bangles, saying, walk like an Egyptian still makes me tingle in my privates. Dang, that took a turn. Boise took a turn right there, man. Dang. What happened was we were having a good show, and then Boise starts talking about Susanna Haas making his privates tingle. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I mean, seriously, guys. At some point, you know what I mean? So, before we wrap this bad boy up, you know I've got to give a shout-out to some of our absolute beasts and badasses who have been doing beastly and badass things. Pocket Watch. Thank you. You encouraged me to do the show tonight. I'm glad we did it. Is this show being watched by one of my main man? D in Atlanta? Are you watching this, D in Atlanta? We are proud to have you on the stream if you are indeed. Pocket Watch, Sam H, Corey Dub. Appreciate you, bro. We need to get up. This weekend might be good. Seriously. Let's do it this weekend. Yeah, let's do it. Stu Pup, keeping the streak alive. Stu Pup's unbelievable. I think, seriously, the guy is such a stud. It's just unbelievable. He's super chatted every single show he's ever done. And there'll be a day when the streak will end because he's just got life to do. He's got kids, you know. But Canoe Man jumps in. Appreciate you. Ravine. Hornatius had several. B. Will. Appreciate you, bro. All of our friends from the War Report. We love them. Blake R. with that natty outfit. And, again, Hornatius super chatted us like 3 or 4 times tonight. Unbelievable. A. Taxman says Susanna Hoff still looks great. You know what? First of all, because you're correct. And second of all, because she has maintained remarkably well. We're going to go ahead and get a picture of Susanna Hoffs. Well, it's kind of hard for me to get these pictures in real time because sometimes they're messed up. Sometimes they're the wrong, dimensions or whatever. I'll just do this one right here for Bo, though. It's for my man. Bo is great. Bo, right here, tell me how you feel when you see that picture right there, huh? How do you feel? How does it make you feel, Bo? She's looking at you, Bo. How do you feel about that, yo? Jason says, crap game. Dude, why are you doing that to us? Why are you bringing up the game? Jeez. What game? I don't even know what game you're talking about. Susanna Haas. She's looking at Bo right now. She's looking at Bo right now, and it's making her tingle. Chip says, brain drain better than the game. The game only kept my attention maybe for a total of 15 minutes. Corey says, is that the Bengals chick? It is indeed. It is indeed. Susanna Haas. I do want to, this might not be very nice of me to say, but I mean, they became a band. They became popular because of Manic Monday, which is a song that Prince wrote for them. So Prince basically launched them. Walk Like an Egyptian's a fine song, but after that, there's really not much, right? And so yet another group that Prince basically carried. I mean, the guy's back hurt. Prince is unbelievable. Prince is like, and this is coming from somebody that I don't listen to a lot of Prince. Honestly, I'm not one of these people that's like, dude, I listen to 1999 every day. I'm not like that at all, but dude, great performer, great singer. He's a great musician, could play a shitload of instruments, wrote his own shit, produced his own shit, wrote other shit for other people, and he was his own businessman. Like, it was unbelievable. Call Me Biscuit says she kind of looks 80s. I wonder why. Corey Weber says Eternal Flame. Since that was my song with my high school girlfriend, I have expunged that from the record, okay? Because maybe she dumped me for a girl. All's well does not end well. Believe me. Boa's Great says, tingles for Prince. Chip Chip says Prince is the best live performer I've ever seen in person. Wow, I'm jealous, bro. I never saw him in person. I spent my my concert money and effort to see Rush because I lived for Rush. I said in high school, like, not ironically, that I would have been glad to get my ass beat for Rush. And I got my ass beat a few times, but not because of Rush. Boa's Great says, seriously, Prince was years ahead of his time. Absolutely. I mean, it is just crazy how good he was. And the way he leaves Minneapolis, comes to Los Angeles looking for a record deal. And when he goes to these record companies, they're like, we like your shit. We've got a producer in mind. And he goes, no, I'm the producer. And they go, yeah, right. But Warner Brothers was willing to go ahead and say, all right, man, if you want to produce your own shit, fine. That's fine. And he put out a few records that were not great, but his third record was good. His fourth record, 1999, was really good. And then Around the World in a Day in 85 was really good. And from there, it just kind of went, Purple Rain, of course, in 84, which would have been after 1999, but before Around the World in a Day was outstanding. One of the all-time greats. Jason H., I'm very jealous of this one, says he's seen Pink Floyd live in person. Oh, my God. If I had 3 records to play on a beach because I was marooned, Delicate Sound of Thunder by Pink Floyd would definitely be one of the 3, and Depeche Mode 101 would definitely be one of the 3. So it's those 2. And then I think the other one would be A Show of Hands by Rush. Boa's Great says, did Jay say he turned some chick to the other team? I think we've gone through this story. As Jay Jacobs would say upon first reference, I'm tired of talking about this, JG. I mean, Jay, this is the first time I've asked you. I'm tired of talking about it. I know you're not satisfied, but are you good? Canoe Man says Brain Drain is always better than the game. Dude, I appreciate you saying that, bro. I appreciate you saying that. Even if it's not true, I appreciate you saying it. Bo, I've told the story. I'm not going to tell it again. I just had to come clean with my wife about it. Mobile Alum 1991 says, what about the Violator album? He's talking about Depeche Mode's record Violator, which came out in 1990. Had the song Enjoy the Silence. Also, Personal Jesus and Policy of Truth and Halo. I guess I'm bitter about that a little bit because I was supposed to see Depeche Mode 1990 at Reunion Arena in Dallas around July 4th, and I didn't go because I was working at a summer camp, and I actually thought my job was important. And so I skipped the concert to do that, and I probably regret that, but I don't know. Who knows? Jason H. says he's seen Guns N' Roses at the Horse Track. It was the worst concert ever in person, and I love GNR. I'm not surprised to hear that Guns N' Roses sucked. I feel like they mail it in sometimes, particularly Axl, right? The worst concert I ever heard, and it wasn't really a concert I went to, but we were up there in Minneapolis covering the NCAA tournament in about 99 or 2000, whenever Auburn was up there playing Creighton and Iowa State at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, and we accidentally ran into Third Eye Blind playing a concert. You'd think Third Eye Blind was playing like the frickin' Metrodome, but they weren't. They were playing like some kind of random bar. I don't know if it was like, I don't know anything about it. I just know it was Third Eye Blind. And we just kind of listened to it like in the back of the bar, and they sounded like ass. I was convinced it was like a cover band that was sucking. Maybe it was. I don't know. They were horrible. Corey Weber says he thinks Live's Throwing Copper was a great, underrated 90s album. Of course, with Lightning Crashes. Also, I Alone on that one, I think, as well. Pocket Watch says I was there at the Metronome. That's cool, man. That was a good time. That was back in the old days. I don't think we'll ever go back to that, but that sure was fun. And Neil McCready has a picture of me catching a wad of paper off the baggie at the Metrodome. I don't know if you remember Kirby Puckett. He caught a bunch of homers or potential homers off that baggie. And when we went and covered the NCAA tournament there, the baggie was like up because the stands were like in front of the baggie. So the baggie was still up. And that was pretty cool. Jason Neal says the horse track was nothing but a mud pit. Rained like hell. That sounds like fun, actually. That means the chicks are going to be all wet and muddy, right? Master Rocker says, saw GNR twice and they killed it both times. Even started on time. Shh, man, you caught him in a good way. Blake R knows what I'm talking about. He says Third Eye Blind was garbage. I didn't think that was really them. They sounded so bad, dude. I remember sitting there going, and me and Troy Johnson, who was covering for the Columbus Ledger-Inquirer, I mean, we considered ourselves kind of like sort of Third Eye Blind fans. Like that was when Jumper was a song, and Semi-Charmed Life, which was the number one song on my honeymoon. So I have great memories of that song, and it was just like out of tune, and the music sounded like ass, and I was like, damn, this sucks. Bobby Lum says, hey, JG, how do you like Red Hot Chili Peppers? Love them. Never saw them in concert, but yeah, hell yeah. My closest thing that I have to the story on Red Hot Chili Peppers was when I was on the student activities board at Transylvania University when I was an undergrad in 1990. I was negotiating with Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is before Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out, so it was still Mother's Milk. So they really didn't have a hit yet. I mean, Higher Ground was big for us, although that was a remake. But you know what I mean? That was sort of a hit. And we were negotiating to get them to come to Transylvania on the soccer field and play a concert sponsored by SAB. We had them hooked up for $25,000, and we had $25,000. So I was like, I'm going to be the guy to get Chili Peppers on freaking campus at Transylvania University. The soccer coach and the AD would not allow us to use the field. So I was so dispirited by that, I just basically quit. I mean, I finished out the year on SAB and I didn't seek re-election. I was like, I'm so bummed. That should have been the greatest moment of my life, to actually get Red Hot Chili Peppers on my campus. And I would have met them. I would have met Anthony Kiedis and Flea. You know, I would have done some like chest bumping to those guys. I don't know. Mobile Lum says saw them in Lollapalooza and NOLA. Amazing. Oh, my gosh. There's like certain bands that just are perfect for Lollapalooza. And I think Red Hot Chili Peppers would be perfect for that. I think the Hold Steady is perfect for that. Absolutely perfect for that. I think Violent Femmes would be perfect for that if you're going a little older. Bo is Great says, what's a soccer field? Okay, man. Okay, I got you. Let's see, you two. Don't love them, but I respect them. And the reason I respect him is that Ben Jobe, who is you guys may not know who Ben Jobe is, but he was the coach at Southern University. He's a great basketball coach for years and years at smaller schools. And he ended up retiring here in Montgomery. And I went to interview him. And in the course of like an hour and a half interview with Ben Jobe, he was talking about Bono. He had a big thing about Bono. And he was like, Bono's awesome because Bono, and I did not expect him to give me this story at all. He's like, Bono's awesome because not only is he a rock star, but he also uses that fame to do a lot of great things in the world. And he kind of got me thinking deeper about Bono. But I don't love their music, but I do respect the heck out of them. Chip says Chili Peppers were great at Hangout Fest. God, my daughter's been dying to go to Hangout Fest. It was supposed to be like the crowning moment of her senior year last year in high school, and she didn't get to go, obviously. And I think this year they've already canceled it, so she's not going to be able to go this year either. But hopefully someday she's going to show up there. Mobile alum says Stone Temple Pilots, again, solid. Let's see, their head coach, their lead singer was Scott Weiland, right? Kind of burned out a little too soon. REM saw them in Auburn in 1990. Let's see, that's what, around Green? Would have been the Green record? They're awesome. Love REM. Boa's Great says, I respect Hank Williams Jr., who spends a lot of time down a little bit south of me in Orion, Alabama. He has a hunting lodge down there. I think Kid Rock is actually, he bought land adjacent to Hank Williams Jr., and I think Kid Rock's down there more than Hank Williams Jr. is. Mobile alum 1991 says, we'll never be anyone like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Dude, the beautiful thing about Stevie Ray Vaughan is, so the song Pride and Joy, I don't know if you realize this, because when I was a kid and I listened to that, I just figured he was like doing the lead guitar, and he had some flunky doing like rhythm guitar, you know? And it turns out when I watched video, when YouTube became a thing, he does rhythm and lead on the same, it's not Lenny. What's the name of his guitar? Number one. He does it. He does rhythm and lead at the same time on the same guitar. It's unbelievable. The guy was insane. Mobile alum says it was Life's Rich Pageant. I think they had a record in '89, bro. I think that was the Green record. Master Rocker says Scott Weiland has an excellent Christmas album out. Dude, Scott Weiland is alive. My bad, dude. Ravine says, got to call it a night, working early tomorrow. Good night, everyone, War Eagle. Ravine, we love you, bro. We are glad you're part of the community and you're a badass. I still don't know what your bunker handle is, but we love you without even knowing that. We don't need to know that. He's right, though. We need to wrap it up. It's 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, 11 o'clock for our friends in the Eastern Time Zone. For Alaska Tiger, it's probably 8 o'clock. And for our friends in Vienna, it's probably 3 in the morning. AU Taxman says Green was 89. Yes, because the lead song on that record was Pop Song 89, right? Which we thought was an ode to the year of 1989, but it was actually their 89th published song. How about that? Pocket Watch says Scott Weiland is alive. Hold on. We're going to go to the big board on this. Scott Weiland is not alive. I'm sorry. We should have played the game with JG about is he alive or not. He died in December of 2015. I had no idea. I just know that Limp Bizkit told me that he's the Melody Man. That's all that matters. Thank you, Pocket Watch. You knew what you were talking about like that. Mobile alum says JG Rush. Yes, that's the band that I spent the most time chasing around and went to 5 concerts of theirs, starting with Roll the Bones tour in 1991. And the last show I saw of theirs was in Nashville, maybe 09 or 10, something like that. Yeah, just talking about Scott Weiland OD'd. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. Pocket Watch says was really sad. Kind of surprising it didn't happen sooner. Hell of a run. Yeah, it was just, I think it was a fight for him every day, wasn't it? That's why when somebody mentioned that earlier, I was like, wow, he's still alive? Because I knew he was living pretty rough. He was living on the razor's edge, as Rush would say from the Presto album. Mobile alum says, I guess he's talking about Rush still, amazing live. It changed my life. I'm not joking about it. Rush changed my life. The music I still listen to at least once a week. And he's an absolute. We miss Neil Peart. Neil Peart. He said it himself. His name is Neil Peart. Some people call him Pert. I don't know why. That's a shampoo from the 80s. Neil Peart. We miss him. Geddy Lee and Alex, obviously badasses too. Mobile says into Metallica. I listen to them a lot too, although pretty much anything after the Black Album is like, not that I hate it or anything. I'm just not into it. Like Saint Anger and no. I just listen to like Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. What do we got? And Justice for All. There was a dude I used to hang out with named Matt. He always go, Master of Puppets, man. Master of Puppets is a weird song for me. I listen to it. If you guys are Spotify users and you're Metallica fans, they have, if you get on the Master of Puppets record, they have a special version of it on Spotify that has like 100 tracks on it. And some of them are live, but some of them are demos. And one of them that they have a lot of demos of is Master of Puppets. And they'll have like 5, 6, 7, 8 versions of Master of Puppets that are by month. And it'll say like Master of Puppets May 85, Master of Puppets June 85, Master of Puppets July 85. And you can kind of see how they're layering it. Like in the very beginning, it's real archaic and basic. And you can kind of see how they're layering it and adding a little bit there, here, and everywhere. Master of Puppets is probably my all-time favorite song. And it means a lot to me because my sister, this is kind of a sad story, but my sister and I used to sing Master of Puppets and she loved it. And we would sing it to each other, and she ended up, my sister passed away due to an overdose. And the song Master of Puppets is all about like being a slave to drugs. And she ended up being a slave to drugs and passing away due to that. And so I listen to it a lot. It reminds me of her in a bittersweet way. I remember the good times us singing it together, but it also reminds me of like how she passed away. It kind of sucks. Colin Biscuit says, who is your obscure band you always see? I think it's metal. Obscure. Oh, it's Steel Panther. They are now second. I've seen them 5 times live. And I'm planning to go see them again in Birmingham in early May. They're actually going to have a date at the Avondale. I love Steel Panther. They're like fake rock. They're glam metal, I guess, but their songs are all like really crass about like just crass stuff. They're more humor than they are anything else, but their music is actually pretty good. Let's see. Pocket Watch says Commodore posted tonight on the bunker saying that it felt like this game was like the game where Chris Porter was ruled ineligible and Abe Smith played for him. Pocket Watch says I was at that game. Got word a day or two before on the way down. The interesting story about that is I went to practice. Practice? We're talking about practice, man? We're not even talking about the game, the actual game when it matters. We're talking about practice.
We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We're talking about practice.
I went to Auburn practice there when they were at the O'Connell Center, and in the middle of practice, Chris Porter was actually like, I don't know if it was Jake or whoever it was that came over and grabbed him and took him off the court. And Courtney was like, hey, man, did you see Chris Porter just get taken off the court? And I was like, yeah. I didn't think anything of it. And then we never saw him again. It happens sometimes. Pocket Watch says Florida fans chanted, "Where is Porter?" I remember. I was there. Abe Smith got the start. Abe Smith was he a walk-on? He may have been a scholarship guy. He was a walk-on. He was definitely there because he was friends with Scotty P. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. I said that like 30 minutes ago, but seriously, I'm going to wrap it up now. Appreciate you guys being here. Love doing the show. I'm sorry we didn't talk a lot about sports here in the last hour or so, but I mean, we're just having fun. It's all about having fun. So we got this. Let me take Susanna Hoffs down. We think you're great, Susanna. Seriously, we think you're beautiful. As you can see on the schedule here, they are going to play Tennessee at 11 a.m. on Saturday. That's going to be at the Auburn Arena. Hopefully, Sharife will be back for that one. Or else the end of this season is going to be rough because I don't know as though they win at Alabama. They've been playing pretty well. So we'll be back on Saturday to do a show. And we'll try to figure out what we're going to do moving on from there. If you haven't listened to the rundown, we just put a brand new one up tonight. The link is on the front of the page, the front of the website, I should say. It's also on the bunker. And it's also been pushed out on the RSS feeds to all your favorite podcasting places like iTunes and like Stitcher. We're not on Spotify yet, but I'm going to try to get back on there. The reason they rejected me initially is because they were using copyrighted music. We were using the Foo Fighters in our bumper music. I haven't done that in like 4 or 5 months now, so hopefully it'll be good with Spotify here shortly. All right, guys. Appreciate you all being here. We'll catch you on the flip side. Until we see you next time, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Be beasts. make great decisions. Love you guys.